Okay, so it wasn't popping up saying that it was successful. I'm not too sure why because I did all the inbound rules with the HTTP and the IPv4, so I'm not too sure. Maybe it could even like be my internet or something. But I'm gonna move on to task 4, which is to resize my instance and instance type and EBS volume. So um, just for a summary, what I've learned is that as someone's needs change, I might find that my instance is overutilizing too small or underutilizing or too large. If so, I can change the instance type. So for example, if a T.2 micro instance is too small for its workload, I can go in and change that to M5 point medium. So similarly, um, you can change the size of a disk, which is really useful. So we're going to stop my instance type. Because I can resize an instance, I must stop it. So when you stop an instance, it is shut down and there's no runtime charge for a stopped EC2 instance, but the storage charge for attached Amazon EBS volume remains. So it said EC2 Management Console, which is here. Instances. Hmm. Web server instance. It wanted me to choose stop. Hmm. Hmm. 1 second. Okay, so it's in the instance state menu to do the stop instance, and then to choose stop. Okay, so my instance will perform a normal shutdown and then stop running. And then it said that we want to wait for the instance state to display stopped. I wonder if I should reboot or anything. Right here. Oh, there it is. Stopping. Almost stopped. Stopped. Okay. So next we're going to change the instance type and enable stop protection. So web server instance action. Okay, so when the instance is started again, it will run as a T2.small, which is twice as much memory as a T2.micro instance. Let me see. And it said to note that I may be restricted from using other instance types in this lab. Okay. The web server instance action menu. Instance settings. Change stop protection. Now I'm going to resize the EBS volume. Volume ID. And then select the checkbox next to the volume that displays. So I'm guessing that. By I'm not seeing modify volume. Hmm. There's no modify volume. Or is there? One second. I genuinely don't really see how I can modify the volume. It said that it should be here in the actions menu, but there's nothing there, nothing in here that has modify volume or anything like that, so I'm not too sure. I think unfortunately I might have to skip that one. I really have no idea. Um, yeah, I have no other way, I think, of changing that, but just I guess to move on to the next step, I'm going to start the resizing instance or start resizing my instance, and to do so, um we have to start the instance again and have more memory. So instances, web server. So the instance state is pending. So our next task is to explore the EC2 limits. So Amazon EC2 provides different resources that I can use. These resources include images, instances, volumes, and snapshots. And when I create an AWS account, there are default limits on these resources on a per region basis. I'm gonna go to services. Hmm. Services and search for and choose service quotas. Service quotas. And we want to choose AWS services from the navigation menu. And we want to find services search bar, search for EC2, and then choose Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud. It says in the find quota search bar, search for running on demand. So then do not make a selection instead, but they want me to observe the filtered lists of service quotas that match the criteria. On-demand AZ instance. So in task 6, which is to test stop protection, I can stop my instance when I do not need to access, but I would still like to retain it. And in this task, I will learn how to use stop protection. Um, in the AWS console, in the search box next to services, um, we're going to do EC2 and return to the EC2 console. We're going to do instance select. Select web server, state instances, stop instance, and choose stop. Yeah, so I was told to note that there is going to be a message that says failed to stop instance, blah, blah, blah. This shows that the stop protection that I enabled earlier in the lab is now providing a safeguard to prevent the accidental stopping of an instance. And if I really wanted to stop the instance, I would need to disable the stop protection. So it worked, actually. Um, It did want me to note that in the Actions menu to select Instance Settings and then change Stop Protection. And then choose Save. And then now we can stop and it will work. Yep. So that's the end of the introduction to Amazon EC2. Thank you.